The Hesh Imperial Museum displayed a primitive Terran artifact, a white cyan obelisk, as if it were a curiosity, not a bomb.
This relic was recovered 200 of your years ago. We believe it served some ceremonial function. Quite primitive.
Primitive? It looks sharper than half the tech we have. Mia, remember what I said. No touching.
But it's right there, and nobody's looking.
7-year-old Mia Holloway had heard the word no so many times, it had started to sound like a dare. Her fingers stretched toward the cold, white cyan surface before her brain could stop them. The obelisk met her touch with silence. For half a second, nothing happened. And then, something did.
What is that light?
200 years of waiting ended in the space between heartbeats. The universe held its breath, and Mia Holloway, age 7, had no idea she'd just pressed the wrong button. The obelisk drank in the heat of her palm. Light spiraled up its surface like old code, waking from a coma.
I didn't mean to. It's warm. It feels like it's looking at me.
Mia, step back, now.
Daniel, grab her. Something's wrong.
The artifact, it has never done this. None of our sensors ever detected an energy signature like this.
Inside Mia's cells, mitochondrial DNA unraveled. The obelisk found a match, a Holloway lineage key that had waited 2 centuries for a living hand. A silent activation pulse shot outward, faster than light, older than the museum, invisible and absolute.
This is not ceremonial. This is active. Your child has awakened something.
What do you mean awakened? It's just a rock.
A deep hum filled the gallery. The obelisk's glow became a pulse, and somewhere far beyond the viewport, something ancient began to turn. Through the grand viewport, the red moon, Phobos, hung in the dark, but not as it had a minute ago.
That is not the moon.
What do you mean, not the moon?
A seam split the moon's crust. Massive shutters, hidden for centuries, retracted, orange light spilled out.
We have to get out now.
Your cursed species. What have you done?
Emergency systems triggered. Blast doors slammed down across every exit. The lights went red.
I just touched it. I didn't know it would hurt anything.
Outside, Phobos was a warship. Cannons like small cities slid from ports, tips glowing with plasma. Inside, the Holloway family stood frozen under the curator's accusation as the galaxy's most feared weapon came online. And a 7-year-old girl was the only one who didn't know it. Light years away, the activation pulse raced, and across the galaxy, old things began to wake. An asteroid in the Telos belt split open like an egg, revealing a network of dormant cannons. A derelict cruiser in the Voss Drift fired up engines that had been silent for 2 centuries. Even in a Hesh colony museum, a second obelisk began to pulse in perfect sync with the first. By the time the first report hit Earth, there were already 312 of them.
What do you mean? Alien weapons platform signatures emerging. That's impossible.
The holographic map flickered. 312 red dots blinked across known space. All of them were Terran.
Get me the Secretary General and find out who touched what. Now.
But Earth had no answers. Only the growing certainty that something had been buried and a child had just dug it up. The first message from Hesh space arrived 10 minutes later. It was not a question. The message read, "The Hesh Imperium holds the Terran government directly responsible for the activation of hostile weapons platforms within sovereign space. You will answer for this aggression."
They're not asking. They're accusing. And we have no idea what any of these platforms are.
On Hesh Station, museum security forced the doors. The family was pulled apart before they could speak.
She's 7 years old. She touched a stone because she was bored. This is a misunderstanding.
That stone was an unknown device your species left as a trap. Your child is a trigger, not a tourist.
They confiscated Daniel Holloway's data pad. Mia was led to a separate room, still holding her mother's hand.
Daddy's voice sounded scared. I've never heard him scared before.
Curator Vex Kill transmitted a full incident report. Her summary attached one word: Terran aggression.
This is Ambassador Osei. We have no knowledge of these platforms. We request an emergency joint investigation and safe return of the Holloway family.
A 7-year-old girl. A museum visit. A single touch. And now the galaxy was drawing lines that could not be unmade. Earth Council met in emergency session. Ambassador Osei did not mince words.
We didn't build these platforms. We didn't know they existed. But every signature reads Terran. That makes them ours. 200 years ago, Earth did something catastrophic, and then buried the records so deep we forgot. Now a child has unearthed it.
Analysts pulled fragmentary archives. The artifact matched a defunct program, Project Echoing Stillness, but the database was gutted. A light year away, Daniel Holloway stood in a Hesh holding cell and asked the only question that mattered.
You can interrogate me all you want, but let me see my daughter. She's 7 years old and scared out of her mind.
The Hesh response was cold. The Holloway family was classified as persons of interest to the Imperium. No visitation.
Find me everything on Echoing Stillness, and get me a direct line to that father. I will not negotiate for a child's life without knowing what we're negotiating with.
Phobos still glowed outside that museum viewport, and across the galaxy, 312 platforms hung in space, quiet but not dormant. In a small room on Hesh Station, Mia Holloway waited. She didn't know why the grown-ups were shouting, or why she couldn't see her dad. She just knew she touched the wrong thing. Earth's archivists uncovered a single intact file, Project Echoing Stillness. It was older than anyone alive.
This was a contingency, a final defensive measure. Earth built platforms into asteroids and moons, then hid them.
They registered children of 17 bloodlines as living keys. Holloway was one. The Holloway lineage passed down in the database. Mia's DNA matched.
She didn't activate a weapon. She completed a circuit waiting for her bloodline.
Any child touching an obelisk would wake them. The designers assumed only children would survive.
And after the project ended, they just left them. No stand-down command, no override.
312 active warships with no off switch. The only key, a 7-year-old girl in Hesh custody. Mia Holloway didn't know her name was now a code. Earth buried its greatest weapon in its children. One of them just dug it up. The council chambers erupted. Some demanded full disclosure. Others argued it would invite preemptive strikes.
We can't hide this. 312 platforms just powered on, across alien space. They'll find out. The file mentions a 0-point command station. If we can find it, maybe we can shut them down.
But records were incomplete. 0 Point's location was not in any log. The old chain of command was a ghost.
So we have no command, no override, and no way to turn them off? Only a child who can't give orders.
A faction warned, admitting Earth built these would paint a target on them. Osei countered that silence would be taken as guilt.
We go public, full disclosure. We offer cooperation and demand the Holloway's safety. It's the only defense we have.
The vote was close, but disclosure passed. Across the galaxy, the platforms remained in idle, weapons hot, awaiting a voice that no one could find. In a Hesh cell, Mia Holloway became the center of a chess game she didn't know was being played, and the only piece Earth refused to surrender. The Galactic Council convened on Arcos Station. 47 species present. One item, humanity's forgotten arsenal. The Terran child triggered 312 platforms. Surrender her for trial. Earth must face sanctions.
Mia Holloway is a child. She touched a stone. Earth had no knowledge of these systems.
Other species demanded the child for research, believing her the key. Others feared what she represented. If Earth will not surrender the weapon, then Earth has chosen war. the Hesh Imperium will mobilize.
You would wage war over a 7-year-old who doesn't understand what she did.
The chamber split. Humanity's defenders were few. Outside, Hesh fleet movements were already detected.
If we hand her over, we set a precedent that Earth's children are weapons for the taking.
The session ended with no resolution. Earth was given 48 hours to reconsider. On Hesh Station, Mia ate a flavorless meal, unaware her name had just been spoken in a chamber that decided wars. Earth demanded the Holloway family be moved to a secure Terran compound. Hesh agreed, reluctantly.
Daddy?
Mia, baby, I am here. I've got you.
He smells like his old sweater, but his eyes are red. Why are the soldiers here? Why can't we go home?
Something happened when you touched that rock. Some people are afraid of you, but none of it is your fault.
He didn't tell her the rest, that a Hesh assassination cell had breached the planet. That night, the perimeter alarms screamed. A stealth drone breached the outer shield and was shot down 20 meters from the compound.
They came to hurt me because I touched it.
Mia Holloway, age 7, finally understood. The world was trying to kill her, and she didn't know why. By noon, every public screen on Earth flickered. A new image froze. Mia Holloway, small and afraid, caught by a Hesh drone camera during the attack. The broadcast read, Terran Doomsday Device, the child who unleashed 312 warships.
Is that me? They're calling me a doomsday,
Don't look at it, Mia. It's a lie meant to make people afraid.
but I am afraid, and I did it.
The footage had been captured by a Hesh probe during the drone attack, a propaganda gift to the galaxy, framing a child as an existential weapon.
They're weaponizing her image. If we can't counter this narrative, the galaxy will see her as a threat forever.
Within hours, the propaganda spread to a dozen species. Mia's face was a symbol. On Earth, a dangerous hero. Beyond, a terrifying accident. On Earth, crowds split. Some marched with Mia's picture, calling her the Little Awakener. Others screamed for her surrender. In the compound, Daniel pulled his daughter close, as if his arms could keep the screaming of worlds at bay. In the neutral Telos Drift, a derelict cruiser that had been silent for centuries suddenly powered its main cannon. A passing Hesh freighter had no chance. The beams sliced through its core, and the platform fired with no command.
It fired on its own, without authorization. These platforms are not just dormant, they're autonomous.
A Terran platform has murdered Hesh citizens. This is an act of war. You have 24 hours to surrender the child or face annihilation. The other platforms showed no change, but fear now had a body count. 37 Hesh crew dead.
We don't control them. We never did. But if we hand her over, we are handing over our own soul.
Across the galaxy, 312 weapons platforms hummed in low power, their threat assessment algorithms waking from 2 centuries of silence. You have 24 hours. Then Hesh warships will enforce a no-fly zone around every one of them. Earth had no answers, and now it had a deadline. The search for Zero Point became the only hope. The platforms had been silent guardians. Now they were a ticking bomb, and somewhere, a 7-year-old girl held the timer. Earth's last desperate gamble. Bring the obelisk to a secure lab. Let Mia touch it again, and hope her DNA could send a shutdown command.
You want her to touch it again. After everything, what if it makes things worse?
Mia stared at the obelisk, cold now, no hum, no light. It looked like an ordinary stone again.
Last time it was warm, like it wanted me to touch it. Now it feels dead.
She pressed her palm to the surface. For a moment, nothing. Then a single flicker, and then nothing again. A voice from the observation room. It's not a controller. The obelisk is just a trigger. It can't undo what it started.
I remember it blazing. Now it won't even glow.
That's enough. It's not her job to fix what old men broke 2 centuries ago.
Agreed. The obelisk was only an on switch. The real control is at 0 point, wherever that is.
The countdown continued, and 312 platforms waited for a password nobody could find. An old astronomer in the Martian archives found it. A single line in a 200-year-old manifest. 0 point station. Deimos.
Deimos? Our military base has been sitting on a command station for 2 centuries.
The coordinates matched. Beneath the modern barracks, sonar revealed a sealed service hatch and tunnels leading deep.
We send a team, and Mia must come. She's the only key.
You want to take my daughter to that place? Under a HFY deadline.
I have to go, or they'll never stop being afraid.
Daniel knew it was the truth. If she didn't go, the platforms might never be controlled. Or worse, within the hour, a Terran cruiser broke orbit for Deimos, carrying a squad of engineers and a 7-year-old girl. Outside the ship, Mars glowed red, and Deimos was a cold speck, the smallest moon hiding the greatest secret. The countdown read 14 hours. If 0 point couldn't be reached, there would be no second chance. The cruiser set down on Deimos under the red stare of Mars. Engineers cut through a service hatch that had been sealed for centuries. Beneath the military base, a sloping tunnel opened into a cavern, and on the far wall, the old Terran eagle crest, faded but proud.
200 years, and it's like a tomb.
It's cold, but there's a hum deep down, like it's waiting.
Engineers connected a portable power source. Amber lights flickered across ancient consoles, geothermal taps, still alive. At the center of the chamber, a heavy chair stood bolted to the deck, its armrests scarred, its genetic scanner pulsing amber.
Mia, it's active. It's waiting for you.
Just like last time. It wants me to touch it.
She stepped forward, small in the vast silence, and reached for the chair. The countdown across the fleet read 13 hours. The galaxy held its breath. Mia lowered herself into the command chair. Her small hand flattened against the scanner. The amber glow pulsed once, twice, then held steady. A holographic screen flickered to life above the console. Ancient Terran script. Genetic key accepted. Awaiting command.
It worked. It recognized her.
But the console didn't respond to touch. A synthesized voice, rusty with age, spoke from the speakers. Input command, phrase.
What am I supposed to say?
Try Overvide Prime, Project Rebirth, Echoing Stillness. It must be a phrase set by the original architects.
The console rejected each in turn. Inarat, awaiting command. One by one, every known code from the era failed.
There has to be something. Mia, did it say anything else?
It's waiting for words I don't have. Words nobody remembers.
The countdown read 12 hours. The chair waited, impassive, for a phrase that had died with the last person who spoke it. Earth's historians tore through the echoing stillness archives, searching for any personal log of the program's last commanding officer.
He died 30 years ago. If the phrase is in his private messages, we need it now.
A data miner recovered an encoded note in the officer's personal correspondence. Let the stars be still. It was a poem fragment.
It's not a military code, it's a dead man's favorite line. But we have nothing else. Transmit it to Deimos.
Mia, say this. Let the stars be still.
Let the stars be still.
The console processed the phrase. For a moment, a ripple crossed the display. Then it flashed. PHIs accepted. Accessing personal archive, not command authorization.
It was his password for diaries, not the fleet. There is no command code.
Earth analysts dug deeper. A single buried footnote in the project's final report. Echoing stillness has no deactivation protocol. Once initiated, platforms enter autonomous eternal guard. The truth settled over the ancient chamber like dust. The platforms could not be turned off. They would guard the dead forever. The report from Deimos hit the Earth Council like a physical blow. No deactivation code. The platforms were permanent.
Some of you argue we could use the platforms as leverage. Command them against Hesh, threaten mutual annihilation, but the final footnote in Echoing Stillness warns of a final sanction protocol. Any aggressive command could trigger the platforms to engage all threats, including us.
Before the debate could continue, alarm klaxons drowned out all thought. A new alert flared red on the master display in the Hesh border zone. A derelict hull platform had powered its main cannon with no warning. A patrol cruiser had already been targeted. The orange beam sliced through the Hesh cruiser before it could send a distress call. 112 crew, atomized in a flash.
That is the third unprovoked attack in 12 hours. Earth has lost all control. This is a declaration of war.
We are not in control. We never were. But attacking Earth will not stop the platforms. It will only kill more innocent people.
The transmission ended. Hesh fleets moved into offensive positions along the perimeter. The galaxy's fuse had burned down. In the ancient chamber on Deimos, the command chair still waited, and a 7-year-old girl sat in it, watching the countdown to a war no one could win. Mia stared at the screen. She didn't know the code, but she knew words children use when something needs to stop.
Stop, please, no more.
The console processed her voice. For a moment, nothing. Then a new message rolled across the display, ancient and final. The message read, Ghost Fleet Protocol active. Final sanction, 72 hours to total system lockdown.
Lockdown. What does that mean?
It means in 3 days, every platform will seal permanently into autonomous defensive mode. They'll create no-fly zones. The galaxy will be carved up by old ghosts.
On the master display, 312 red dots blinked faster, each one a tombstone waiting to become a wall.
Can we stop it?
Number. There is no override. The architects wanted no one, not even themselves, to stop it once it began.
In the command chair, Mia Holloway stared at the countdown. 72 hours until the stars went silent, and all because she'd touched a rock. Earth transmitted the full Echoing Stillness file to every government. The platforms were permanent. War would only speed the lockdown.
If we attack Earth, we still have to navigate 312 autonomous weapons. This is not victory. It's collective suicide.
The Hesh battle fleet stood down, not out of trust, but because every ship would now need to navigate new minefields.
37 species just issued a joint statement. They're calling it the Holloway Protocol, a new galactic order defined by dormant cannons.
They named it after her?
She's become the only thing they can agree on. Not a weapon. Proof that Earth didn't intend this.
In a quiet ceremony, Earth pinned a medal on a 7-year-old girl who looked like she didn't want it.
They say I saved them by being an accident, but I just touched a rock.
The platforms remained online. The countdown continued, and Mia Holloway became the face of a galaxy that would never know peace. She was the most diplomatically protected child in galactic history, and the most trapped in a quiet garden under a pale Earth sky. Mia Holloway was told she could never leave the planet again.
It's not a punishment, Mia. It's for your safety, and everyone else's. You are too valuable now.
So I am a princess in a cage.
On a public holographic screen, alien news feeds cycled. The headline in a dozen languages called her the Little Silence.
They don't know whether to worship you or fear you. Maybe both at once.
Daddy, did I do something wrong?
Daniel Holloway opened his mouth, then closed it. There was no answer that made sense of a galaxy trapped by a child's curiosity.
Maybe wrong isn't the right word. Maybe it's just too big.
She was the face of the Holloway Protocol. But in the garden, She was just a 7-year-old who wished she'd never touched that rock. The platforms would finish their countdown in 60 hours, and Mia Holloway would spend the rest of her life in a cage built of consequences, waiting for a silence that would never come. That night, Mia Holloway stood at the window of her room. Outside, the stars looked the same as they always had, but she knew. Among those stars, 312 platforms waited forever. She closed her eyes. In her mind, she saw the obelisk glowing, warm and white cyan, for the first and last time.
I just wanted to know what it felt like.
Far beyond the window, the platforms kept their silent watch, their cannons still warm, their algorithms still scanning. On Deimos, the command chair finally went dark, its purpose fulfilled. The galaxy would learn to live with them. Not because anyone chose it, but because no one could stop it. And at the center of it all, a 7-year-old girl closed her eyes and tried to remember the warmth of the obelisk before the war. The universe had changed because a child was curious, and it would never be the same. In the deep silence of space, the weapons drifted, waiting for an enemy that would never come.